Happy 1,000 subscribers, everybody! And welcome back to another episode of Robin Refuses to Play Video Games as Intended. Today, I bring you yet another one of my favorite PS2 games, Oni, for the PC. For those unaware, Oni was a game released by Bungie in 2001, developed in the midst of them struggling against bankruptcy after losing about $800,000 due to having to recall a separate game, resulting in nearly all staff having to prioritize a launch title for the Xbox so that Microsoft would save their company. Good God, it is a miracle this game came out. Anyway, in Oni, you play as Mitoko, a purple-haired superhuman girl working with the police to stop national terrorists. What was that? My mistake, guys. Totally my fault. I accidentally had the plot of Ghost in the Shell. Sorry, guys. Let me try again. In Oni, you play as Kinoko, a purple-haired superhuman girl working with the police to stop national terrorists. Now, Oni is unique for its extremely intricate melee combat system, with Kinoko having almost as many attacks and combos as a Street Fighter character. The game is designed around its melee combat, with Kinoko having different punches and kicks for every single direction, as well as if you're jumping, crouching, sprinting. Guns in this game are powerful, yeah, but they usually have limited ammo, making them best as a side option to your main hand-to-hand moveset. That said though, the COVID quarantine just turned 1 this year, and I don't want to get sick in this day and age, so we're gonna beat this game while social distancing. Can you beat Oni while only using guns? The rules of this run are as simple as the title. At no point in time are we allowed to damage anybody using hand-to-hand combat. No punching, no kicking, no damage from sliding or flipping, no disarming, no throwing, and certainly no backbreaking. If we ever see one of those neat little colored poofs because of something we did, we immediately have to forfeit the stage and return to a prior checkpoint. Any and all other methods of damage are allowed, and while this mostly includes guns, we will find a couple more creative ways to get rid of enemies. The only other thing I need to address is something called record replay jumps. See, the developers forgot to lock some commands that allow the player to start and stop a gameplay recording, and then play it back, resetting their position. Hitting all 3 keys in rapid succession and then jumping allows the player to jump even if they were already in the air. It is possible to rebind these keys for use even without turning on the dev commands with cheat codes. But for the purposes of this run, use of this is completely banned. We are playing the game as it lies, no exceptions. With our rules set into place, we get started as our little sister bot Shinatama jacks into our brain to help us with a police training course. Another police lady is polite enough to give us a demonstration of what we're going to be seeing a lot of pretty soon, and we arrive at this game's first major roadblock, this robot. See, wanting to make sure that we are actually prepared for field missions, Shinatama puts us up against this robot who refuses to hurt us, allowing us to demonstrate that, at the barest minimum, we have the basic fundamental concepts of hand-to-hand combat down. Unfortunately, the American police training segment of the tutorial doesn't come until after the beating people to death segment, so there's no way to get a gun to kill him before this. And the game physically checks for us to have done enough damage to him before it lets us proceed, so even if we were able to jump out of bounds or something, it wouldn't really matter here. As it stands, there is physically no way for us to proceed unless we damage this robot. We cannot complete stage 0 without actually using melee combat. But sometimes the best way to solve our problems is by running away from them. Upon starting a fresh save, the level select provides you with access to both Stage 0, the training level, and Stage 1. If you hit New Game, then yeah, the game forces you to go through combat training, but the way I see it, if I can get an A by cutting class, I've got better things to waste my college tuition on. Stage 1 is a decent way to get used to your new way of life. There's not really a whole lot here that'll catch you off guard. The stage starts you out with a pistol, and there's basically only one dude we really need to kill, and that's this dude harassing this construction worker for his lunch money. If we're too slow and he bullies him to death, then the striker himself will drop the key, otherwise this dude will just open the door for us, where we can OSHA violate our way into stopping the syndicate from smuggling their hentai out of the building. Thankfully though, the dead guy we found earlier told us that the syndicate truck was going to Musashi Manufacturing, which everyone apparently knows is a front for the evil syndicate of evil, so we convince our Uncle Griffin to let us go on to Stage 2. Stage 2 opens up on the gang conducting a normal police investigation.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Musashi Heavy Manufacturing Concern. How can I be of service?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Agent Thorsten.
We are with the TCTF, and we hereby order you to cease and desist.
Which goes about as well as you would expect. Anyway, this stage would present us with some problems if Bungie didn't accidentally break it. See, about halfway through this stage, we move up to this zone here to deal with these laser walls from that one Resident Evil movie. But it's possible for us to jump off this area, falling back down to where we started. Bungie didn't want the player to get soft-locked, so they put a special trigger just below Kinoko's base jumping height across the entire length of the building, except for in the starting room, that says, if you hit this trigger, open up all the doors on the ground floor. Thing is, this also assumes that there is absolutely no way Kinoko could possibly gain additional height. Up, yep, there she goes. Yeah, one simple jump off that ledge, and you skip the first third of the stage. This run's gonna use a few speedrun tricks, but out of all of them, this is hands down the easiest. This gives some required kills and allows us to proceed further into the nightmare. Make sure you grab this ammo on the right, it'll make shit easier for us later. After that, make your way through the rest of the stage. There's really nothing else to note here, there aren't even really any other required kills. Don't feel bad about killing somebody with any of your guns. The more people are dead, the easier it is for you to run away. Mow down whoever you gotta, and make your way to fight the main villain from World's Strongest. You know, the best DBZ movie. The second he asks for feet pics though, we gotta wipe him off the face of the earth. Stage 3 opens up with a boss fight against Albino Shrek, who, just like in my fanfictions, is packing heat. In the gun way, not in the Barabbas has a lot of really devastating melee attacks, in addition to carrying a weapon that, in lore, is literally designed to be mounted on a fucking tank. Thankfully, it's not too difficult to dodge the lasers this thing puts out, and the grenades it has on its alt fire may as well not even exist for how much it uses them. That said though, the big issue is his ability to heal. The only thing that stops him from healing however much he wants is enough knockback to snap him out of it, if not to actually knock him down. The only things that will stop him from healing are enough knockback to snap him out of it, running up close to him so that he thinks it's a better idea to just punch you to death, which, like, I'd rather not, and punching him, which, not gonna happen. Instead, we take the approach we took for Stage 0 again, and run for your life! Littered across the area are a health kit, some ammo, and most importantly, a plasma rifle. Now, the pistol, at least in my experience, doesn't have the oomph required to convince Barabbas to stop using his win condition. The plasma rifle, on the other hand, seems to have the super special property of aggroing Barabbas, causing him to drop what he was doing and resume attempting to murder us. Thankfully, the game has enough ammo between the pistol Kinoko starts with and the plasma rifle you found to win the fight. So, find the rifle, move it over to a corner of the map that you like, grab the pistol, and open fire. By the time you finish shooting him 20 times in the chest from 3 meters away with a police-grade future rifle, he should be considering healing. From there, grab the plasma rifle and negotiate him into not doing that until he realizes he left the oven on and moons his way out of here. Beyond that, the stage is pretty simple. Prioritize staying alive and try to swing by 1 or 2 of the scientists to grab a med hypo if you can. Once you get to this area, you got 2 options depending upon your health. If you're almost at full HP, you can overheal and make a jump for this building. The defense boost from overhealing will provide you with just enough defense and health to stick this landing. If you don't have the hypo, or just don't have enough HP, then you gotta do this manually. Turns at the edge of the stage is on your right, and then while doing a perfect right strafe and nothing else, jump to your death. If you ignore all manner of logic and attempt to jump about a half second before you break your legs and die, Kinoko will forget she's in the air and attempt to jump again, which since Kinoko is able to jump means that she must not be falling, but she's in the air so she starts falling, and you know what? We're on the ground now. Just goes to show. Sometimes all it takes to fly is to mist around a little bit. As Kinoko arrives at the airport, she discovers the leader of the syndicate, Muro, escaping casually into the airport. Realizing her criminal negotiation skills are about on par with a rock,
Muro, stop!
No.
Kinoko needs to get to the other side of the airport as soon as possible to head Muro off. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. If you prefer the intended way, after moving from the lobby to the main airway, hang a left to grab some additional ammo. After that, it's a short walk over to talk to Muro, who summons these nerds to make life suck. See, Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here love to tag team you once you're stunned by the taser. Kite them around the room, and once they're far enough away from the door, make a break for the shield. If after this you want to just head for the switch and go for the door, you certainly can, but I recommend 86ing the dude with the stun gun. Both of them if you can, it'll make the sprint across the airfield easier. I recommend running Serpentine so as to dodge the assholes with the plasma rifles, then hit the switches, make for the door. If you prefer the
fuck this shit, I'm out
way, shoot out all the windows in front of the opening, then jump off the windowsills and swing through the ceiling. Yeah, the devs did not expect you to be able to nail these jumps as hard as you could, so they just never thought to put upwards collision on the ceiling here, meaning we can just jump our way out of bounds. Anywho, once you're on the wrong side of the fence, run around the map, then once you get to this gap over the endless void, you just need to
Free your mind.
and then make your way to the end of the stage. Nope, don't pay attention to that solid fucking wall we just phased through. Stop asking questions. Now for stage 5, politely request that the random civilians over in this back room hiding for their lives commit murder in your name, and then loot the body for a plasma rifle. The enemies out here move pretty slow, so you should be able to place Team Fortress 2 Sniper with the rifle here. Though, special recommendations go to swinging by the left side and snagging this shield. Shield only works against bullets, but the taser this guy has only does 1 damage, and he won't capitalize on the shot if it didn't work, so grab it, tank the shots, leave. Both the high and low road have hidden rewards, but in this instance, the high road is what we want. All the combats on the high road are optional, and if the dude with the grenade launcher up there tries to practice grenade jumping, he'll kill himself and drop his weapon, which, hey, is lost. So, hit all 3 switches by running away like a little sissy baby, and these guys might prove difficult. One has a grenade launcher, and the other's got a bomb jacket. But you can negotiate the grenadier into killing his buddy, allowing you to make him call an ambulance for himself. Grab the thingy and make a break for the victory. Be smart with your movements though. A lot of people here have stun guns, grenades, plasma rifles, the works. You'll need to get to this midsection though, so don't fuck with anybody and head on to stage 6. Stage 6 features us preparing for the inevitable second boss fight against Shrek atop the cop building. After Kinoko gives herself some serious leg burns, swing by over here and grab... Our goal is simple. Get as many clips of ballistics ammo as possible. Barabbas 2 is the first boss that has the magical resistance to being shot, so we want to bring as much gunfire as possible. The Mercury Bow is the strongest single shot in the game bar none, but it's balanced by its short clip size, so we want as much ammo as we can carry so that we can walk up to Barabbas dressed to the nines. This chick on floor 1 will give you some ballistics if she survives, so killing the dude bro asking for her number is just a flat +1. From there on, you can actually hit every switch to access the middle part of the building without firing a single shot, so long as your jukes are hard and your moves are crazy sweet. Moving up the building, Barabbas decides to become a predator and kidnaps this small child, and we are not having any of that. If you need to kill anyone, grab the plasma rifles off the ground and use them to take some pot shots. We don't care about our energy ammo, so any ammo you find is free to be put into enemies. After you catch the elevator ride, this one has to be done by the book. Cue the meme music. Head immediately to the right and grab the invisibility cloak. Use this time to shoot out both the windows, then hit the switch. Jump out the window to your now left and take some pot shots with your plasma rifle. Grab the Mercury Bow, run across the ledge, grab some more invisibility, then hit the other window. There's some red ammo over there. Up the stairs now, stay mobile to dodge dude with the sniper rifle, get up to the top, get someone to let you outside, and boom, you're at Barabbas, who's decided to hand our little sister over to some dudes in a helicopter, then stick around to fight us for... pride? I don't know, guess he really wanted that run back. Unfortunately, we are now significantly better prepared to fight him than we were last time. The second the fight starts, shoot Barabbas with the Mercury Bow. He has gun resistance, sure, but the bow has so much knockback that he gets knocked down anyway. You don't have to kill him with this, just shove him far enough away from his gun such that we can steal it from him. Barabbas' grenade launcher was going to do most of the work here, since unlike the Mercury Bow, can effectively hit him on the ground. Use this to Okizemi him in the next week until the grenade launcher runs out, then switch back to the bow for the last couple shots. He gets up a little bit faster than your bow can fire. Fortunately, Bungie left us a few more holes we can exploit. If you're using any weapon that has a delay between its firing, on the PC version of the game, you can circumvent that cooldown period entirely by just dropping the gun, then picking it back up again. The game doesn't keep track of the amount of time between shots after you drop the gun, so picking it back up means you can fire or reload again immediately. Chapter 7 features Kinoko managing to steal government property and go against the word of her CEO and head off to save Shinatama, which, like, girl, I'm surprised you didn't get branded an enemy of the state right now. What the fuck? Stage 7 ends in a fight in a long hallway against multiple successive enemies. A striker with an SMG, 2 more strikers, a tanker, and 2 high-level strikers with a Fury, the latter of which has a shield which cancels a healthy amount of gun damage. Say we need a lot of juice to gun this down would be an understatement. There's nothing for this stage but to do it perfectly. You have to know where to find guns and where to pick up ammo such that we can actually make it to the end and take the boys out without having to resort to negotiating the enemy off a ledge to kill itself. No jokes this time, boys. We're doing this by the book. Start the stage, run across the way. Pick up the invisibility cloak, bail. Ignore the switch, jump off this power box instead. You might need this green ammo later. Wait a sec, we need that switch, sorry. Get the metapack and run for your life. Go in all sneaky beaky like, wait, they saw you, fuck it, run. Grab the hypo off this dude, chat up your gal pal. Girls gotta stick together, so she hands you a laser gun. Use it to murder this dude, don't let him run out of ammo though, we can steal it when he drops it. Backtrack a little bit, and if you have to, use your laser to push this man off the bridge. Then head up and murder his buddy. If you can get his SMG, kill him with his own gun. Otherwise, silly string. Make sure he doesn't fall, he's got ammo. Breather time. Whew! And then we're back to the action. Laser this dude to death, he's got ammo. Get on the power box to kill this dude on top of the bridge. He's got ammo too, but mostly just fuck this guy. You probably need to reload the silly string now, that's why we took that green ammo before. Bully this chick, then take the med hypo she dropped. We could get on this bridge the normal way, but run across the entire bridge and hop off this power box for swag points. Free hypo! Hug the right side of the bridge for some more ballistics, then it's off these pipes to get on the bridge that's normally enemies only because some jerk-off hid ballistic ammo on top of this switch room. I never knew this was here before I did this video. Who found this before I did? From there, you're basically good. Once you're down the second elevator, you can swing by this dude over here for a free med hypo, but we're already armed to the teeth and ready to rock. It's a straight shot to the bridge, though you might find yourself getting shot and beat up by the dudes on your tail. The second you get down here and hit this switch, it triggers checkpoint 5. Instantly reload checkpoint 5. It'll despawn everyone but the dudes we gotta kill. From there,
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Stage 8 starts as an exercise in restraint. Hop on top of these whatevers and grab yourself the Super Ball launcher, yes that's the actual name of the gun, no it's not an innuendo, and head downstairs. We gotta get picky with our shots, so ditch the tanker and head on in. Inside is meant to be 3 tough ladies called Furies, but for whatever reason, there were only 2, also a tanker, and later there was a Fury dead outside. This game was made in 2001, man, cut it some slack. So the Fury by Shinatama has an actual gun, so the second you have a good line of sight on her, beat her with a grenade and remove her from this plane of reality. Shinatama tells us a bunch of important exposition. Apparently, Kinoko's real name is Mai Hasegawa, and Shinatama's true purpose was not just to guide her in missions, but also to monitor the chrysalis inside of her. Kinoko, understandably, goes, "What is a chrysalis?" But Griffin's computer tells him that Kinoko is dangerously close to uncovering the plot twist, so he has Shinatama blow herself up with the force of
1.21 gigawatts, sir.
21 gigawatts! What the hell is a gigawatt?
Fortunately, Shinatama powers through being forced to kill herself, and Kinoko escapes. So now the Syndicate wants to kill us, and so do the cops. Is it time to start using fisticuffs, fight our way hand to hand, and punch out anyone who dares to get in a... Fuck no, we still got a third of the game to go. We run across the power lines to pick up a force field from the lady across the way, then make our way out to this room full of electricity and acid. You can just hard ignore everything down there and go speedrun strats, but you'll miss some hypos and ammo down there, so I opted to play it safe. Watch out for the robots though, they're deceptively hardy. After a little bit more of a shootout than I'd like to have gotten myself into, we head across another power line and make our way into this weird staircase room. You can just ignore everything in this room. Head over to the room to hit a switch, open up the elevator, then enjoy the smooth beats while you sneak your way around this guy.
Are we rushing in, or are we going sneaky beaky like?
After this fucking brainlet team kills his own dude, Griffin declares Kinoko a rogue agent, and we set out to find more about our past. Welcome to Stage 9. Fuck Stage 9. I spent hours on Stage 9! Unlike previous stages where we could do the speedrun skip, but chose not to, in this stage we physically cannot, as it requires us to get this dude's gun and shoot out these windows. Disarms a melee, and we aren't doing that. That said, there is an alternate speedrun skip that has since been phased out, where you jump off this window, onto the windowsill, and onto the roof. The issue is that doing that kind of requires you to be good at video games because you're being chased by several dudes. And I'm not good at video games. And the alternative is actually doing this stage in which there are dozens of enemies active at any time, which, God no. Now, that said, we do have one recourse. As I've said before, reloading checkpoints deletes any enemies that are not immediately necessary on the main path. As such, if we can hit the switches in the building, the one switch on the roof and make it downstairs, we'll hit checkpoint 2 and can reload to despawn all the enemies upstairs. From there, we can head back upstairs and then take our time landing the jump at our leisure. As such, we have a clear objective. Get to checkpoint 2 and beat the stage. It's too bad doing that sucks! See, you're immediately accosted by so many dudes and make Piper Perry blush. The first switch ain't that hard, and switch on the second floor is easy since they're in enclosed spaces. The issue is the third floor. 3 switches, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 in open sniper fire, all in line of sight of 2 or 3 other guards, assuming the guards on the first and second floors haven't followed you. You'll be under fire and assault the entire time, and it's honestly up to luck whether or not you even get to hit a switch. And even then, you still need to deal with the roof, which has a sniper on one side and a dude with silly string on the other. Unless you want to start kiting people downstairs into the mob of enemies, which I sure fucking don't. You can talk to this dude, who has a shield which will solve the silly string issue, but he won't talk to you if there are enemies nearby. And holy fuck are there enemies nearby. Getting this entire stage to work is a miracle, and you have to do it all in one shot, since the first checkpoint happens right after the first room. Meaning that from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, you have to do all of this extremely difficult shit perfectly, or you're back to start. If we could so much as get a gun, any gun, everything would be different. But there's no way to get a gun since we don't spawn with one and there aren't any lying on the ground. Unless we were to luck into one of the enemies just randomly deciding to trip one of his buddies and knock the gun out of his hands, there's nothing we can even do except get lucky. We take those, grab the gun, grab the ammo upstairs, shoot the sniper, take his rifle, shoot the silly string guy, hit the switch, down the stairs, save the game, reload stairs, jump, leave. Fuck! That stage sucks, man. I don't even care that I was all luck. We take luck in this house. Stage 10. Thankfully, this stage is substantially easier. After following Wade the Ninja over here up the stairway to heaven in order to chase him to get the disc that we never saw him steal because we skipped that part of stage 9, you can basically just sprint across this stage. They'll swing wide around the elevator to pick up this green ammo before you get in. Now, at the top of the elevator, we're gonna get our weapon, cause this dude has a screaming cannon. The screaming cannon fires screaming cells, which, according to the game's tooltips, are living creatures that live in another dimension and feed on human life, seeking out humans to leech off upon being shot out and free.
Excuse me, what?
So ignoring that sudden piece of horror, we manipulate the cell into eating its user so we can grab the gun for ourselves. From here, it's a straight shot from one end of the stage to the other. You can certainly climb through these buildings and head to Mukade the normal way, but I opted for style points and made this jump from this ledge to the building Mukade's in. So we head up the elevator and Mukade's all,
"All you have done by hunting me has forced me to fight.
Who are you?
Does your blood burn when you kill it? To it. You writhe inside as we are torn apart. The bliss of oblivion free you of all your doubts and fears."
And thus the fight begins. Thankfully, the PC version's reload glitch is very friendly to this fight, and we can just jump on top of this thing and fire off so many screaming cells that Mukade just doesn't know how to deal with it. He falls unconscious, and we politely retrieve the disc with our past memories on it before heading up. That wasn't me, it doesn't count, it doesn't count, it doesn't count. And with that, we get to stage 11. Kinoko learns of the past while sitting in the remains of her father's lab. To shortcut the explanation, basically her father was a professor at a college and he started dating one of his students who was an environmental activist, since this game takes place in the 2032s and the atmosphere is shot. They go out of the range of the atmospheric processing plants we were at earlier to find something to hang over the government's head, but as they do so, her mother cuts herself. The wound gets infected immediately, resulting in her father having to mercy kill her. Thus, her father and uncle set a plan into motion to figure out a way for humanity to live on, despite the poison there. Yeah, you could tell this was written in the global warming era, huh? Still, I like the story, and it holds up. Anyway, personal gush aside, suddenly Muro— wait, what the hell? How is he here? Well, to shortcut explanations again, Stage 11, Dream Diver, is, unsurprisingly, a dream sequence in which Kinoko confronts various personal demons. Unfortunately, Kinoko chose to face her inner demons unarmed, which puts us in a bit of a pickle. By standing on this whatever the fuck, we're able to jump over the trigger, which causes Dream Muro to start trying to kick our ass. From there, we are able to jump out of the wall holding us here, but then we're kind of stuck. The only gun conventionally available in this stage is a taser during a fight with Dream Griffin, which is not exactly a damaging weapon. Now, these two ghosts over here actually do come with guns. One has a grenade launcher and one has a screaming cannon. They're just programmed as your allies so that they don't shoot you. The The thing is, they're also programmed to disappear if you move forward in the stage or get too close to them. Conventionally speaking, there is no way to complete the stage without murdering every enemy with our bare hands. Thankfully, we don't speak conventional here. Remember when I said that these guys are programmed as allies? This means that they'll shoot at any syndicate-type enemies they come across. And this dude has a screaming cannon. Now, the screaming cell will home in on any target that is not the person that shot it. And that does mean anyone, even other NPCs. Thus, if we can get this dude to fire, we can manipulate the cell to kill Grenade Guy, then use the launcher to kill Screaming Guy, then take the Screaming Cannon. The stage gives us one extra clip of energy ammo, intended for the taser I mentioned, but it works just as well to fuel the little green men inside our balls. Thus, we simply need to spawn enemies for them to shoot at. Sadly, that's easier said than done. If we could jump over the trigger that spawns the 4 small strikers and despawns the ghosts, we'll be able to make our way upstairs and spawn these invisible ninjas. But we have no way to gain nearly enough height. We do still have one more option, but it leaves us in a sticky wicket. See, Muro's effectively lobotomized if we dodge that trigger we mentioned, which means anything we do to him, he won't resist. If we had a way to move him that didn't involve attacking him, or a way we could get him to move himself, we might be able to get Muro out of the wall and into harm's way such that the strikers can attack him. But as it stands, Muro's simply too much of a good little girl to leave his room unless we force him out. As such, we give him a few good smacks and throw him out of the room, marking a total failure of the run and changing this to a minimalist run. We add 1 to our counter of enemies we physically had to hit because the game wouldn't let us not, and head on forward. From there, once the ghosts materialize, Screaming Cannon Guy fires on Muro, though his cell gets distracted and murders his friend. We run on over there and grab the grenade launcher he dropped and kill Screaming Cannon Guy before he empties his clip. This gives us 2 guns to work with, and while we certainly could take the grenade launcher through the stage, we only get so far with 3 shots. Thus we use the grenade launcher to kill the 2 invisible ninjas, and grab the screamer, and just mostly kill these 2 chicks who literally can't see us. Sadly, the cloak burns out the second we enter the Griffin cutscene, where Kinoko imagines her superior, that tried to kill her, telling her off for betraying them. Now, this fight can give you some trouble if you make the mistake of doing it at all. Do not pull out your gun. Griffin will almost always get the first blow with his taser, and a kick will knock the gun out of your hands before you have a chance to do anything. The first time you deal damage to Griffin, 2 elite strikers show up to back him up, so we'll want to be as safe as possible. As such, kite Griffin around the room until you can run behind where he spawns in from and grab an invisibility cloak. Under the cover of invisibility, put some distance between you and him and fire off 1 shot. Once the guards show up, the fight is over. The door to the final area is open. If you're not invisible, the guards will follow you, so make sure you're quick. A ninja will spawn here if you walk straight through, so fakie off the ledge to dodge the trigger, watch Dinatama fly to the moon, and then head to the Dream Kinoko fight.
Hello, Mai Hasagawa. That's your name, isn't it? I'm not sure who I am. Ward of the state, TCTF pawn, murderer. I'm under orders to bring you in.
Dream Kinoko can be pretty difficult if you don't play it right, since she's quite literally you but stronger. Your main goal here should be to get her to stand as still as possible to allow your screaming cells to eat her alive, since unlike every boss since Barabbas 1, she does not have gun resistance. However, she is relentless and will chase you to the ends of the earth. If she knocks the gun out of your hand, she will take it from you, which might make things kinda scary. But all is not lost. If you lose your gun, start running circles around her. The cell, in trying to attack you, will just kill her instead. As Kinoko wakes up, we contemplate whether hitting people inside of a dream even counts as we move on to stage 12, the Science Prison. Jumping on in there, Kinoko hears that her uncle, Dr. Kerr, who I've neglected to mention again. Seriously, who writes these scripts? I'm missing important plot shit over. Her uncle is being held prisoner here, able to do his job, but not leave. So we negotiate the laser grid and make our way into the facility proper. I recommend going in sneaky beaky like. There are gaps in the patterns of all the guards so that we can speak to all the NPCs, get plenty of items, and hit all the switches. Once you see these doors, you're right in front of Kerr's doorstep, so I honestly recommend just saying fuck it and booking it. To help us, we gotta meet him in his lab, which just comes down to negotiating more enemies, talking to more people, hitting more switches. Play this careful and you'll be there in no time. So Kerr tells us a little bit more exposition, and that there's something called a chrysalis inside of Kinoko. It's why she has the ability to heal like she does, as it's evolving to replace her damaged body parts. Only 2 prototypes were ever made, using her and her brother as bases, and shocker, Muro is her brother!
What a twist!
It's like there's only one other person in the game with purple hair. Once Kara was out of people to turn to, he turns into TCTF and Griffin, who upon finding out that the Syndicate had put Muro's chrysalis inside of him to make him the fucking strong, had Kara put Kinoko's inside of her, so that they could have someone who could contend with Muro physically. Boy, did we let him down. As the heart-to-heart rears up, this dude comes in and shoots Kinoko with a mercury bow, only for Kara to hop in to take the shot. Dude, I have a body shield, what are you doing? This is definitely the hardest part of the stage, and where you're going to be sinking most of your time into. This area is packed with goons who specialize in either shooting you to death or beating you to death, or some combination thereof. If you manage to make it out of this part with a full health bar, consider it a miracle. You're not done though, we still gotta fight in the pit. Dash through this laser grid, the sentry turrets are bad at hitting you, and then you're gonna get pincer attacked, as the 2 guards from the earlier room come out and meet up with 2 more coming from the opposite direction. Thankfully, one of them is packing a screaming cannon, which in terms of killing people without hitting them is free real estate. Negotiate the shots into the people that aren't you, then once that's done, run circles around the guy to kill him too. You want to be fast about grabbing the cannon, as it can be grabbed by some other guys who come in after them. Kill them and grab the grenade launcher. I recommend cargoing both the grenade launcher and the screaming cannon across the way like a gun nut, since the screaming cannon's better at killing people from a distance than the grenade launcher is. If you have to pick one, take the grenade launcher, but both are best. Once you're into the acid room, fire away with reckless abandon at everyone you see. Kinoko figures that the chrysalis regenerates her, so it should allow her to live through an acid bath, so she uses that as her escape route. Nah, I'm kidding. Everyone thinks she's dead, but she's not, and she makes her way back to the Chrysler building for stage 13. Daddy Griffin is still disowning us, so we need to get down there and show him what for. Fun fact, stage 13 is actually just stage 6 backwards. We start at the top of the TCTF building and work our way down. Now, normally we wouldn't be able to do the soft landing trick from earlier, as Kinoko starts flailing as she's going down this elevator shaft, which prevents the trick from working. That said, by doing a sidekick as you jump and equipping and stowing your gun with proper timing, you can delay the falling animation and still pull off the trick. It definitely takes good timing though. I found it helps to count from 1 to 3, starting from when you jump, then start cycling the gun at 3. This has the nifty side effect of making Griffin a figment of Kinoko's imagination.
You can't escape me. You saw to that.
Kinoko, it's been 15 years. The accident wasn't your fault. You need to let me go. Anyway, for those of you who actually want to play the game today, don't think you can do a normal soft landing like we did on stage 6 to make like David and skip Goliath. The doors further into the stage are opened by the switches on the top floor, believe it or not. They just kinda hide that from you with camera tricks. So if we were to do that, we would actually be stuck down here. We don't have enough ammo to kill everyone up here, so I don't recommend trying with guns. If you want them dead, try negotiating them off the ledge Wile E. Coyote style. It's way funnier. After that, talk to all the nerds in the side rooms to get some ammo, then head downstairs. Swing by the side windows to grab another mercury bow, though you will have to pull it from this lady's cold dead hands. Sadly, they fixed the elevator, so we gotta take the stairs. Kinoko has the idea to do exactly what the Syndicate did in stage 6 to get downstairs, so make like the Beastie Boys and sabotage those power stations. These black goons are a bit expensive to take down, taking 2 bops from the bow, but we aren't really worrying about ammo right now. Once you're out of there, you got 3 more switches. Remember all the switches that did nothing on stage 6? Yeah, they're those. Go to those. After that, we make our way to where we were before. Thankfully, Griffin has ceased being a figment of our imagination and now tells us that he has repurposed the corpse of our robot sister and turned her into a deadly brain-style boss.
Excuse me, what?
Anyway, boss easy. So after the fight, the game gives you the option to spare Griffin or leave him alive. This changes the final boss. If you kill him, Muro evolves into Mega Mix from Crash Bandicoot and 1v1s you. If you spare him, Muro is normal but brings some goons to help, which Griffin shows up to back you up with goons of his own. While it might seem easier to go with the fight with less fighters, the game actually only cares if Muro dies, meaning we'll be taking the fight with less HP and less gun resistance. Stage 14, the final frontier. So Kinoko makes Deadpool proud before sliding around these crates here for some invisibility. Use this to sneak around the tower for a medkit, then make a break for it. The second you hit this bend of the gate, hang a right. We won't make it past the gateway with the cloak still up, but we will have a grenade launcher in our pocket, and that makes me happy. Swing by this room for some extra ammo of both flavors, and then you're at the checkpoint. You can either soft land off this ledge or tank it with overheal, then hit the switch. Run past all these guys, and then Kinoko will consider a career in trucking.
I wonder how strong those doors are.
Pizza time.
Trucking's not for me. Convince this woman that suicide is painless, then use her gun to take out the snipers. Stop by every room on this floor. Only kill if you have to. The Joestar secret technique certainly hasn't failed us yet. We find out that Muro plans to use the atmosphere generators to actively make shit worse, so that the only people who get to live are the ones who will buy chrysalises from him. Which is so not environmentally friendly, so Kinoko, ever one to live green, heads upstairs to tell her brother what for. This dude by the switch drops ammo, so it's one shot for 4, and I've been at this stage for 30 minutes and I want some stress relief. Go around the back of the terminal for some healing, and head up the elevator.
This is the final battle!
As soon as the fight starts, let all of the ads go out and fight each other. Introduce Muro to your grenade launcher and then promptly put some distance between you and him. He does a pretty good job of gaining on you, but not as good of a job of strafing, which means it should be easy to land directs. Don't be afraid if a couple of your shots don't quite hit your mark. This is why we're using a grenade launcher. Just keep landing direct hits and you should be able to put him in the ground pretty easily. It's too late to stop Muro's poisoning program, so Kinoko blows up the generators so nobody gets to win today. And as she wanders through the city, she quietly wonders whether humanity will survive. And we successfully did not beat Oni with only using guns because of one stupid bit in Dream Diver. Seriously, if anyone wants to try to put some time into finding anything in Stage 11, I'd take it. We are one couple of decks away from having a genuinely perfect run. That's the only way this run is ever going to get lowered, short of using that reload replay jump. If anyone finds a way to gain more height in this game, please let me know. Regardless, thank you all for watching. The growth we've been getting on the channel has been absolutely crazy to just see and be a part of. And it's incredible to see so many of you here and waiting for more. Don't worry, there'll be more SMT besides the Devil Survivor runs, and there'll be other challenge runs coming onto the channel in the future. On that note, stay tuned and let me know what else you want to see. Thank you guys so much. To have so many of you guys watching us here, it means the world. Cheers, and I'll see you guys next time. Love yas.